Hey everybody. It is what, October now? Let's go look at the car. So as one might have expected, a lot has happened since the last video. It's been a while. I just haven't had time to make one. I'm not going to get into all that. But let's take a look. So for starters, there's an engine in here. The surface is a little rusty from being outside for the last couple days. But got the crank, I think it's called a balancer on. And the water pump's on there, as well as one of the cogged pulleys. And the alternator is also on, and that has a cogged pulley as well. There'll be an aluminum cogged pulley on that as well too. Let's take a look at the mounts. I need to paint them, but there they are. We ended up deciding to just mount them onto the factory mounts, where the factory mounts sloped up and they went out, so they were about right there, and that's what the Nissan engine was sitting on. So these lined up about exactly, because this right here is about the max length of this plate that came with the mounts. So it lined up about exactly perfect that we could use that, and then we chopped the other one, welded that into place, and basically hung the engine while we welded this into place. And so if you look here, there is very little clearance. There is clearance there, I promise, but there is very little clearance. We put this thing in just as snug as we could. That is the steering rack you're looking at right now. And that's that on the other side. Very little clearance, but it all fits, which seems to be the story with this car. As you can also see from just a moment ago, there's now an exhaust, which I am just so excited about. We just got this back today with the exhaust on it, and I personally couldn't be happier with it. I am just so excited to fire this thing up. 100% stainless steel. We got, I just hit my head on the car. V-band clamps, keeping everything nice and tight and sealed. So there's that. I don't know if I made a video on it before. There's a drive shaft in here too. Originally we thought we were going to have a custom drive shaft made, and that was going to be $400 and take who knows how long, which, because we didn't have to, we got the exhaust made, which was great. 750 bucks, Lou's Custom Exhaust, Portland, Maine. Look him up. Chris runs the place. He does some phenomenal work. I'll have a link to his website and his stuff in the description of this video. But yeah, completely 100% from the ram horns back, custom. Good stuff. So back to the drive shaft. These bearings are leaking a little bit, but we ended up finding out, and for some of this may have been a no-brainer, but there is a U-joint you can get, and we wrote the part number down here for all you Z31 auto to turbo 350 small block Chevy auto people out there. Moog 372. That is the part number for the U-joint that puts the stock automatic Z31 drive shaft to the slip yoke out of the Turbo 350 that came on the Impala that we got. That was a 1979 Impala 5.0. So that was like maybe 20 bucks. Maybe. It may have been less. I can't remember. But so yeah, that turned a $400, potentially $400 project into a $20 half an hour ordeal. It was great. I'm so happy. So we come over here, you can see there is a shifter cable hooked up to the transmission, which is also new. We're gonna have to do something else about this cable. It will fit through here, and I think what's gonna have to happen is we're gonna end up pushing it up into there a little and making some sort of, I don't even know, heat shield. My phone died, so here we are again. After looking at this a little bit more, I'm actually thinking we're gonna unhook the shifter cable, right? There it is. we're gonna take the cable, you can see where it comes through the floor right there, and instead of making the loop all the way down here, I think we're gonna make the loop above the transmission, somewhere up in there, and have it come down over this bracket and then just go back to be bolted on. And then most of the able to be melted part of this cable will be over the transmission away from the exhaust. It'll be great. Just gonna lower this down now so you guys can see what the engine looks like from the top. There it is. So, what we decided to do is we're going to use the distributor off of the Impala that we got, because that was a fairly new distributor, and we figured out it'll fit if we cut back more of this firewall, this little lip here. I think we're going to end up chopping it from here all the way to there and then just cutting it out, and then that distributor should fit. I won't have to buy a new one of those. That'll be cool. We got the water pump and alternator on, as you can see. Kind of crappy looking old alternator with the new painted brackets and all that, but yeah, whatever. The ram horn headers, you can see the exhaust going down. Get another look at the mounts there. If you look, we also decided to block off the mechanical fuel pump that comes on these. We didn't know which direction the exhaust ended up having to go. In fact, we thought at first he may end up having to wrap it around the front, like from there through this mount to here and then down across the bottom. But turns out that didn't end up having to happen, so that's good. Either way, I'm getting an electronic fuel pump, which I will be mounting somewhere in the back of the hatch probably, and then we'll be running plumbing all the way up to run the carburetor once that's on. So I think the next step, let's see, this pipe is just crazy what I had to get around. But next step, there's going to be a radiator. I need to order either a custom built one or just find a specific dimension that will fit in here, because it's going to have to only come up to here, and it has to fit between these two, but it has to have enough volume that it'll actually cool the car down. And I don't have the stock one anymore because I just chucked it because I was excited when we took the old Nissan stuff out. But yeah, so the engine is in. It is physically possible. Most of you knew that already, but I felt like I had to show you guys, and I'm sure you're excited to see it too, sitting in the car. I will be cleaning up the mounts a little and painting them so they don't rust away, so don't worry about that. I just recently got the bolts to put this pulley on, so next time you guys see this car, it should have the crank pulley and a belt, which is good. Basically, because my pulley kit, these wonderful cogged pulleys, they did not come with bolts. So I had to go to every local hardware store I know, find out that I had no options, because the pulley for this is like this, but instead of having the little hollow part there inside here, on the inside it's on the outside, which means that you have to get the bolts in like right up against the wall of the pulley. And in order to accomplish that, you can't use like just regular bolts, because you have to get a wrench or a ratchet on those. So we had to custom order the correct length and thread width and all that bolts with Allen heads. So we're waiting on that. And actually, no, we're not waiting anymore. I just got them. So next time you see it, that will be on. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. So I almost forgot, guys. I need to show you the shifter. So the shifter. Yes, this is a mess in here right now. It's all kind of gross. I have some new interior parts I'm going to be putting in here, but again, that's not what this series is about. It's all about this stuff. So what we did was we took out the old shifter and everything. Obviously, it's not here anymore, and I didn't really want to bother pulling all the carpet out and everything in order to weld, because that was just going to be so much work, and I do not have the time or patience to deal with that in my daily life. But the car must move forward. So what we did was we found a piece of basically just, I think it's like plate 10 or something like that, just to cover the hole. The stock shifter actually had bolt holes right where we needed them to put stuff so that we can hold this plate down. And we also have bolts holding the shifter onto the plate. And this is a, I can't remember the actual name, but it is a ratchet shifter. It's a B&M shifter. So we can go into drive, and we can go back, and we can go forward, and yeah, it's great. And oh man, there is something to be said about a vehicle when you get in it and get excited that you can put it in park. Just putting that out there. I got in this car when this was all done, and I was like, I can put it in park. It's so great. But so there's that. It's pretty firm. There's probably something loose in there I can tighten or something like that. I'm not sure. But as far as down here, it's not really moving, so it's good. And my console will fit over this with a little finagling. So I'm excited about that, because other than that, it'll look fairly stock in here, and I'm pretty excited. Except for the dash, obviously. That's probably going to be 100% different. So there it is, guys. Engine is in. Bunch of various accessories bolted on, getting ready to put a distributor in. We've got an exhaust. The starter is on, but not hooked up yet. And yes, that is just the starter that was in the Impala. I'm not going to bother with a new one until I'm sure this car is going to be good. As probably same with the alternator, although I think an alternator is like 35 bucks, so I'm not too worried about it if I have to change that. But it should be awesome. We are getting there, and by the next video, hopefully we will be showing you how we got the radiator in. So, like, comment, subscribe. There will be links in the description for everywhere you can see updates early, like pictures and stuff on my Instagram and in the shop Facebook page. And I'll also put Loose Custom Exhaust Instagram, Facebook, and website down there in the description as well. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.